What's up guys, AJ here, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the cheapest way to generate leads for your real estate business. Make sure you stay all the way to the end because I'm not only going to be talking about the cheapest way in this video, but I'm also going to give you a couple free ways at the very end. As a brand new real estate agent 10 years ago, I was certainly on the search for cheap and free leads. And what I discovered after wasting thousands of dollars on various lead sources, that there is good, cheap leads out there. I mean, when I was new, I spent money on Realtor.com leads. My first year, I blew through $5,000 and didn't close one transaction. It was an absolute waste of money. I purchased Zillow leads later on in my career that cost upwards of $200 per lead, and I know there's some even more expensive than that now. Zillow leads can be great. They convert really well, actually. However, they're super expensive, and I don't recommend it for most agents. I spent money on pay-per-click advertising, Google, Facebook, and while Facebook is pretty cheap, you can get Facebook leads less than $10 a lead. Google pay-per-click, you can get less than $20 per lead. It's still kind of expensive when you think you need about 100 pay-per-click leads to close one. What I discovered for the most part, quite honestly, is the easier the lead is to convert, the more expensive it is, right? Makes sense? After actually hiring a coach my first year and going to my first conference, what I discovered was that seller prospecting is a fantastic way to generate business. Really, listings are the name of the game. But I was like, who's gonna hire me as a newer agent? I was 26 at the time to list their house. What I discovered, as long as you actually practice your skills and treat this business like a professional, you'll get all the listings that you want. So I heard about this lead source called RedX. There's also Vulcan 7, Land Voice. There's different companies out there that sell expired and for sale by owner lead data. And I signed up. Today I recommend RedX. If you want, there's a link in the description to save $150. Feel free to check that out. But what I learned was that by actually putting in some work and consistently following up, it's a great lead source and it's cheap. I mean, for less than $50 a month with RedX, you can get expired lead data, for sale by owner lead data. It's $50, $100 depending on the lead source. And this could be for hundreds of leads per month. There's nothing else cheaper that converts out there. Anything cheaper than that, in my opinion, isn't legit. But you do have to treat it like a professional, right? You got to build your sales pipeline. You got to keep them in your CRM system through RedX. You got to follow up with them over time. Sure, you might start calling day one and get your first listing, but for the most part, it's going to take some time. You just got to stick with it. Also with RedX, you can actually go back years and get thousands of expired names, phone numbers, in some cases emails. Same with for sale by owners. Like, that's amazing. You can circle neighborhoods and all that info populates, so you can do just listed, just sold type calls. I mean, there's no other lead source that is this cheap. Even if you're doing like direct mail, sure, it might be 50 cents a postcard, but those aren't leads. That's just marketing, right? You ultimately just got to commit to doing the work. There's no magic pill. There's no silver bullet that's going to take you from 0 to 100 transactions overnight. All lead sources take consistency and follow-up. Why not sign up with a seller lead source that actually gets you results day one and become a top listing agent in your market? A lot of agents don't know this with different lead sources, that like Zillow, for example, out of every 15 to 20 leads, you'll actually convert one. So if you're paying $200 per lead, on the low end right now, 10 leads is $2,000, 20 leads is $4,000. So $4,000 to convert one lead into a deal. Say you get paid $7,500 on that deal, you only made a $3,500 profit. Pay-per-click. Facebook leads for the most part are trash. Google pay-per-click is okay, but you're only gonna get like a 1% conversion rate, like I mentioned. So you gotta get 100 leads to convert one, 3 if you're like a ninja, like really good, 2 if you're so-so, 1 if you're average. Let's say you're paying $20 a lead for Google pay-per-click, 100 leads times 20 is $2,000. So your cost per deal is half of what it would be with Zillow, but it's still $2,000. Whereas if you just sign up for RedX, start calling expireds and for sale by owners for 2 to 3 hours a day, making 100 to 150 contacts per week. And I have a free seller prospecting course in the description, and you can check it out if you want on how to do this. My scripts are there, you can download them. I went from 6 deals my first year to 36 by following these practices that I talk about. What I like about this cheap lead source too is that pretty much all sellers are also buyers. They're usually selling to purchase another home, whereas some of these other lead sources that I mentioned, even though they're buying, they might be buying because they were in an apartment or they were renting. So with the sellers, you know they already own a house, right? Makes sense. So a lot of times you get a 2-for-1 deal. I like that. Other benefits of working with sellers are it just takes less time to close a listing than it does a buyer. You can probably work with 3 to 5 sellers versus 1 buyer because you're not out showing houses on the weekends, not out showing houses at nights. You don't actually have to go to the inspection. You don't have to write multiple offers on different properties a lot of the time for buyers. So there's so many advantages to working with sellers. And did I mention that these leads are cheap? So I mentioned that there was also going to be some free strategies with this. Some free strategies, door knocking. Door knocking is going to be a great way to generate business, and it's free. So you can just go door knock neighborhoods, you can door knock the whole neighborhood, or you can print a list of all the expireds, say over the last 30 days, and go knock those doors. You can go knock for sale by owner doors just by going to websites like Zillow, forsalebyowner.com. You can get the data off of those websites. So it's completely free. Again, in this case, it really takes putting in the legwork, right? On the buy side, some free ways you can generate leads are going to be simply posting in like community Facebook groups, like online garage sale type groups. You put a great listing, whether it's yours or somebody in your office with their permission. You post it, hey, check out this house under $300,000 in XYZ neighborhood, XYZ city. You're gonna get people that click that link, and when they go to your website, so you need a great platform, a great marketing system like KV Core that you get for $85 a month at EXP. It's part of our monthly fee. If you're interested in joining EXP, there's a link in the description for that as well. We're happy to have a conversation with you about it. But use something like KV Core. There's a lot of great ones out there, but the landing page shows the property, and when they click to see more pictures, a pop-up box will happen where they put in their name, email, and phone number. So that's a lead that's free. Again, it takes a little more leg work or finger work in this case on the computer, posting multiple listings per day. Back in the day, Craigslist still works to an extent, but it was pretty popular 10 years ago. Facebook kind of took over with the online garage sales and all that. I would post upwards of 20 to 30 new listings per day. So if you want to use this free strategy, you might be posting in 10 different groups 3 times per day. So that's 30 postings per day. And of course, you're gonna get kicked out of some of the groups because they don't want you doing that in those groups, but some groups allow it. So you just gotta feel it out. But what's cool about all of this is it's free. Eventually you can hire a virtual assistant to do it. But honestly, if you want the truth, focus on listings. Sign up for something like RedX. Vulcan 7's great too. Landvoice, not so much. But just invest in something. It's low cost. For less than 150 bucks or 200 bucks a month, you can have the top package. Get started with 50 bucks a month if that's all you have. Find some role play partners, commit to practicing your scripts and getting better, and I promise you, you'll start to take listings. Thanks for watching. I highly recommend you share this with a friend, subscribe to the channel, like the video. Seriously, share this with a friend, because if you're going to start seller prospecting, it's great to have an accountability partner and somebody that you can practice scripts with. They don't have to be in your market. It could be somebody across country. It could be somebody in your office. Share this with them and say, hey, let's buy RedX. If they're in your market, say, hey, let's both split RedX and save on the cost. I don't recommend that because you really want a separate CRM, but just giving you an idea, if you really don't have any money, you could split it. But to be serious, like, everybody in this day and age has a credit card, they have a PlayStation they could sell, they have a bike they could sell. Like, when I got started in real estate, I legit was selling stuff. I sold my mountain bike. I sold everything that I wasn't using, that I didn't need on a daily basis to get started in real estate. And it paid off. My first year didn't do that well, but my second year I made over $150,000. And it was by doing this, it was by seller prospecting, but I was committed. So don't say you don't have any money to invest in your business. You got money. You know, go collect some pop cans on the side of the road. I remember doing that as a kid, and, you know, buying candy and soda pop, in Michigan we call it pop, with all the money. Like, you can find a few $100s per month to invest in your business. And if you don't, if you're not willing to commit to even a couple $100s a month in business expenses, you're just not going to make it in this business. If you're not resourceful enough to find a couple $100s a month to invest in your business, you're not resourceful enough to sell people's largest asset, their house, as a real estate agent. So take this serious, get RedX, get something like it, and start crushing expireds. I know you can do it. I know you can become a top listing agent in your market, so go out and do it. Have a good one.